local banks, and this room is literally overflowing with people, is because of the work that this administration has done, the Nigerian administration has done. And it's the work they've done, and it's not the words, it's the actions, and it's that actions that lead to investment opportunities. And again, that's why this room is filled here. That's why Stanbic IBTC is led by our CEO, who's here today, Shola David-Bora, as well as a senior delegation, because we see the opportunity, we see the investment, we see the potential. It's really, I said, why I've traveled from New York to be here as well, is because of the opportunity and the action that the government has done. And before I leave, I really would have to say, as a New Yorker, when the question was put forward, why does Nigeria have a 7% growth rate and produce only 3% of the power that South Africa does? Well, as a New Yorker, it's really quite simple. It's because of Nigerians. There was 170 million Nigerians, and I say this with the greatest compliment. When you deal with a Nigerian, they're in your face, the game is on, they're passionate, and those are great compliments coming from New York. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mark Chiavello, CEO, Standard Bank. And the next person for his goodwill message will be the MD of Diamond Bank, Mr. Alex Oti. A round of applause for him as he comes, please, and as he makes it very short.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'll be very brief. This is another challenged speaker. I would like to, on behalf of the local banks, thank the federal government for their commitment to the transformation of power in Nigeria. And for us as banks, we don't just put our money because people have made comments. We put our money because it makes business sense. And I can tell you that the last time I checked, and that was the end of last year, December 2013, the banking industry in Nigeria has invested well over 750 billion naira. 750 billion naira in the power sector. And we are ready to do more. And the reason we are doing it is because we can see a model that makes sense. We can see action, not just talk. And we can see a government that is committed to what it says. We are in business to make money, but most importantly, we cannot make money if the nation is not in peace. And that is why it is important that everybody commits to this transformation agenda. Let me, on behalf of the banks, say that as we go into the next phase, because this is just the beginning, as we go into the next phase of investments, that will be out there to support. Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
And thank you very much, the MD of Diamond Bank. And the last of these goodwill messages, join me as I invite the Governor of Kogi State, Captain Idris Wada.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Architect Namadi Mohammed Sambo, UCON, the representative of the Senate President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I speak on behalf of the governors that are here, my colleague governor of Kaduna State, ably represented by his deputy. And I want to commend the federal government for the integrated power projects that are going on all over the country. This is the first time in the history of our nation that there's such a close collaboration between the federal government, the state governments, and the local governments in the power sector. All the three tiers of our government are investing in the Niger Delta Power Company. And it's a great thing for our country, and we commend the federal government as we look forward to better power production, distribution in Nigeria. The giant strides have been made over the last few years. Let me use the opportunity to also talk a little bit about opportunities for power in Nigeria as I welcome our domestic and international investors. In Kogi State, we have abundant coal deposits. We also have the confluence of the rivers Niger and Benue. It's a confluence of opportunities for power generation, transmission, and distribution in Nigeria. So I welcome investors to Kogi State. We are creating a very conducive environment in Kogi State, working very hard on security to assure our domestic and international investors that if you come to Kogi State to produce power, you will be safe, you'll be very welcome. So I use this opportunity to invite you to Kogi State. Mr. Vice President, thank you for all the good work you have been doing in the power sector. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Captain Idris Wada, and thank you all for your goodwill messages. I know there are so many people who still want to wish as well. We can't possibly take everyone. We thank you for coming here at all. We really do appreciate that. Now, I told you earlier that a desirable outcome of the power sector reform is leaving a lasting legacy, and that's what this government has been doing these past few years. To now formally declare this conference open, on behalf of His Excellency.
You've been watching Channels Television's live coverage of the Nigeria Power Financing Conference in Abuja, the nation's capital. In attendance, as well as other dignitaries, the Minister of Finance, and attended by well over 109 delegates from 9 countries.
Please be seated. Your Excellency, the Senate President, Senator David Mark, ably represented by His Excellency Alhaji Saminu Turaki, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Power, the Chairman of Senate Committee on Privatization, as well as the Chairman House Committee on Power, distinguished members of the National Assembly, the Coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance, the Minister of Power, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, other ministers here present